This case study is about a film on gender discrimination. It's a very strong topic, and we'll take you through this. It was a short animation film on gender discrimination done by Mridul Basumotri. He was an animation student, and it was guided by Professor Neena Sabnani. Gender discrimination refers to the practice of granting or denying rights or privileges to a person based on their gender. Now, this is the introduction of the process. So, these are some questions that the director was asking to himself and to the society, where why only Sita had to give Agni Pariksha and not Lord Rama? Why do only the sisters, daughters, mothers and the wives have to do fastings for the good of their fellow men and not the other way around? Why does the doula walk ahead of Dulhan during marriage fera? Why can't boys bring dowry like the girls do? Why can't a girl inherit the property of her father? Now, these are very valid questions, and the director is trying to bring and pose these questions to the society and to himself in the process. So the director wanted to reflect on the patriarchal society that exists in India. Now, this is an age-old patriarchal society in India, like property rights only for sons, and also as a status symbol. So all these ideas kind of question the director. So I mean, in Hindi we say that बाप को कंधा देने वाला, लड़की पराए घर का धन है, लड़की घर की इज्जत होती है. So now these are some of the statements that boldly people make very carelessly without really questioning why are we even talking like this. There's a sex ratio decline in India. 78% of labor force in agriculture is women. Almost 100% of kitchen work, child care and household work is taken care of exclusively by women. 274 girls died in Punjab every day before they were born. So these are some of extreme things that are happening around, and we must question and ask why. So what are the causes of gender discrimination? There are historical causes, social causes, religious and economical as well. Some of the social constructs. Now, male is meant to be masculine, physically stronger, tough-skinned, independent, competitive, experienced, self-confident, hard, rebellious. On the other hand, females are considered to be feminine, physically weaker, emotional, dependent, quiet, sensitive, graceful, soft, accepting. So as you see here, there's a big difference, and these are complete opposite traits, and this is what the social construct is like. Also birth preferences, education, job, portrayal of women in movies, which is very, very, one of the important questions to ask these days. Dowry, eve teasing, physical and sexual harassments, acid attacks and rapes. Now these are extreme things that are happening around in the society. Also some of the facts that kind of the director was researching was the female child infanticide. Now female infanticide is the deliberate killing of newborn female children. They don't want a girl to be born and bias towards a boy. This practice is the reason for the death of millions of girl child and is a major cause of the unbalanced ratio of girls to boys. In India, 921 girls to 1,000 boys. Eve teasing is a problem in almost all the countries, as I said. During an eve teasing, a woman is passed unwanted sexual remarks and sometimes advances of a man in a public place. Sometimes it leads to the crime like rapes and murders. Physical and sexual harassment is basically a form of bullying, where a person who is stronger, generally men, try to make unwanted sexual advances, request for sexual favors or obscene remarks to a woman, and threaten them not to tell anybody. There are cases in workplaces as well. Acid attack is one of the gruesome stuff that is happening. Acid attack is another type of violence against women. It is a form of violent attack or assault defined as the act of throwing acid into the body of another with the intention of disfiguring the face of a girl. It damages the skin, tissue, often exposing and dissolving the bones of the victim, and more than that, it damages the entire mental state. Rape is a sexual assault involving the sexual intercourse by a person or a group of people initiated against the victim without their consent. It is recognized as a crime against humanity. Trafficking, now which is illegal trading, these girls are forced into prostitution or domestic work or child labor. Now these are things that one need to read upon, to come up and research upon for a topic like this, which is gender discrimination. Also, I mean, there are more topics here, as you see: dowry, education, less job income, portrayal of women in movies, media, and video games. So after the director was reading on it and researching, all this kind of formulates into writing a story that the director wants to tell. Some old discrimination systems like Dudpiti system, a system followed in olden times where a girl child was killed by drowning her in milk. Dowry systems is the money given in the form of a shelter to bride at the time of marriage so that she is well maintained by the groom, and those who fail to pay dowry, either daughters are ill-treated and they finally commit suicide, which is really sad. Parda system, it is the practice of requiring women to cover their bodies so as to cover their skin and conceal their form. Now it is a declining tradition in India, and it's practiced mostly by Muslim community. Widow exploitation, widows are still ill-treated. They are condemned to a life of great agony, shaving their heads, shunned from the society, which is very extreme. After reading on this topic for a while, more research on the topic began. So gender equality starts here, which is it starts in the womb of the mother, and where you make choices. It has to be a boy or a girl, which is kind of strange. Female infanticide is the unlawful killing of very young children. Female infanticide is the deliberate killing of girl babies. It is also described as gender selective killing or gendercide. Female infanticide is more common than male infanticide, and in some countries, particularly India and China, is likely to have serious consequences on the balance of sexes in the population. The reasons behind it are almost always cultural rather than directly religious. The causes are family economics, earning power, potential pensions, dowry, government policies. Now, family economics, where some parents, particularly poor ones who can't afford to support a large family, will kill female babies. Girls are considered a drain on family resources during the childhood without bringing economic benefits later on. Earning power. So men are usually the main income earners, either because they are more employable or earn higher wages for the same work. Potential pensions. In many societies, parents depend on their children to look after them in old age. But in many of these cultures, a girl leaves her parental family and joins her husband's family when she marries. Dowry, some girls' babies are killed so that the family doesn't have to pay a dowry when they get married, which is really, strange. Government policy. Chinese government introduced a one child per family policy. There was a surge in female infanticide. Families needed to have a son because of their higher earning potential. So a girl baby was an economic disaster for them. Also, female infanticide has been portrayed in films. So there's a film called as It's a Girl, and female infanticide has been shown in this very strongly. So you see some of the images from the film here. Also, a bit of research was done on the general inequality index all over the world, and these are the figures that one can refer to. More statistic data on the child sex ratio, around 1,029 women per 1,000 men in North America. In India, 914 women per 1,000 men in India. So, which is kind of a very different number altogether. So the whole need of making a film on this topic started because it can help spread awareness among people about this topic. Also to demotivate gendercide and abortion. And awareness about the term feminism itself, could help. The concept for the film was, the director kind of thought the concept of strings. Now, social construct as a string which controls the women and don't let them achieve success. So like a puppet, right? Now a puppet is controlled by a higher authority, and suddenly you see a hierarchy and a break in the system. The initial idea, like these are some of the initial poster designed by the director. Some of the initial sketches of the character done. It's a small cute girl, and some of the sketches here, as you see, these are some very crude exploratory sketches. Also, these are the progress, like how the girl grows up to become a woman, and some of the process sketches here. Then storyboard was done, and some of the music was done. These are some of the screenshots from the music. More detailed music. In most of the filmmaking process, we follow the same steps as post-production, pre-production, production. So the post-production here involves storyboarding, animatic, and each shot is animated in a certain way. And this was a very strong topic. And once you see the film, I think you'll understand the whole process that I explained, kind of how it came into being and how the film was made in the end.
I don't want that girl to be born. 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 I don't want that girl.
I want this girl to be born.